Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And I think, Jeff, we're here in South Florida. We're hitting the pollinating stage where everything is turning green.
My car is green. It's like a forest green color, but it's pollen covered. It looks like a woolly automobile.
It was nice and warm today, but it was greening everything. So,
I know.
So no complaints about weather yet. It's not
supposed to be nice. Now, next week in Digstock, though, it's supposed to be cold.
Yes, I did hear that it was going to drop. Cool front was going to come through.
Well, I was looking at the weather, and it's supposed to be in the mornings, be in the mid 30s.
Oh, geez, that is cold.
And then it's going to be 50, 55, 59, the highs, chances of rain. So I told Mumbles, man, he better bring a flask just in case,
Gotta stay warm. Yes, absolutely. Well, I guess I better get started. Of course, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure, and views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here on Treasure Talk belong solely to the Treasure Talk member or guests, and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner, which we do every week.
We try to. We definitely try to. And so let's educate a little bit about your inventory.
Oh, okay. Right off the bat, for you folks who have a Deus 2 and want the new 13-inch coil, we have that one in stock. Actually, we have the 10, the 11, or the 9, the 11, or 13. So we've got all three of the coils. So if you need to get an extra coil, if you got the 9 and you want the 11, we've got that. Or if you want the 13, we've got it. Or if you bought the 11 and you want the 9, we've got it. So we got you covered on Deus 2. And then the hottest selling coil I've seen in a while has been the Legend LG24. That coil, I got 15 of them in. They sold out like immediately. And I've got another 15 coming in, 3 of which have already sold. And Naka's out of those right now. So if I would suggest if you want one of those coils, you go to my website and order it today, so you'll get it. Because right now I just have 3 of them sold, so there's 12 more that aren't sold yet. So you could get one of those, of course.
Question for you.
Already?
Yeah.
Do you still have Terry Shannon's latest book in stock? Why, yes, of course I do. It's the coolest looking cover because Terry is wearing my shirt. So I have that one in stock for sure. And they're autographed too. So he's a famous treasure hunter, and you get his autograph too. He wrote a really good book if you're into metal detecting, any form of metal detecting, because he not only does the Treasure Coast, but he does river and relic hunting back home.
Yeah, and he'll be on Treasure Tales in April too.
Yes, that's going to be an epic show, isn't it?
It's going to be epic, because I added Jimmy Crossbones to the mix.
So there'll be some real treasure stories going around for sure.
They're going to be flying. They're going to be flying because I rented a house in Sebastian. Unfortunately, Philip cannot make it. He's got to stay and run the store. And I'm going to do a little dinner, host a dinner for these folks. And cocktails at 6, dinner at 7, and the show goes live at 8. And it'll be Terry Shannon, Carl Fismer, Mark Littleton, Sid and KT Jones of the Tocha fame, and Jimmy Crossbones. So there are going to be lots of stories, and most of them will be true, we hope.
Some of them will be true, for sure.
Some of them will.
Yes. Well,
Some
we've done the roundup on the inventory. Of course, we have all the detectors in stock except for the Manticore. I still have the Equinox 900s. I have some of those. I have some of the 700s, and the distributor told me those are going quick and they won't have any for a while. So if you were to want one of those, I would say get that quick too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no word on Manticore when it's coming in.
No, Manticore is like it's like the coelacanth, the fish that they thought was non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, I understand that. So if you got a question, get it in the chat. Jocelyn will pick up on it, or I'll pick up on it. And then I'll put it on the screen, and Phil may or may not be able to see it.
I just got to strain my eyes. I don't know if anybody wants to see my face that close to the camera.
Well, not if you have to tilt it up for the bifocals. Anyways, I think we probably need to get on with the show, eh?
Yes, we do. Let's why don't you introduce our guest? Yeah.
Okay, we've got a great guest, a team actually, the team from the Chi-Town, Chicago Ron and his wife. Now, if you've seen him before, you're going to be entertained a great deal. Chicago Ron is a very, very accomplished treasure hunter. He does great things. He runs England barn hunts. He's got some of that coming up. He'll be over in England for a month running scheduled hunts. He also does a new thing in Aruba with hunts where you can go for a few days, a week, or whatever it is. We're going to talk about that as well. And so he's got all your bases covered. And I mean, you go there with him, you find stuff, trust me, and you have a good time. And it's well worth every cent that you pay for it. So let's bring him on right now. Man from Chicago who may or may not be running for mayor in Chicago because everybody else is. And if Ron was running, he'd win. Let's bring on Chicago Ron and his wife, Gretchen. Hey, guys. Are you running?
Hey, guys. Please, nobody write me in. I don't want the pressure. I'm retired now.
I hear you. It seems like everybody and their brother's running for mayor in Chicago now, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
So, Ron, you're officially retired from the fire department then, right?
Yeah, I officially retired in September. I'm going to take these glasses off because I don't really need to see you guys, and the glare is getting it annoys me. So,
Yeah.
well, I know what they look like. If there was going to be other interesting people to look at, I would.
That's true. That is true.
Sorry, after that wonderful intro, and then I dish you like that. That's not right.
The charm continues.
We're used to it.
We'll never be invited back.
That's not true.
I retired in September. And
it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And they don't do this for everybody. They actually brought in the pipers, and they brought in another truck, and they had the 2 ladders extended and the giant flag. And I mean, it was just beautiful.
Yeah, I did a walkout in the morning with the bagpiper playing, and it was really, they did a really nice ceremony. It was very nice.
And
You gave him a lot of years of distinguished service.
25 plus.
he didn't tell me that he left his uniform in the truck, and I cleaned everything out. So he did his walkout in a Hawaiian shirt.
Hey,
I was a civilian. Right? It was after 8 o'clock.
It was perfect. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
That's really cool.
So yeah, now that I'm retired, when I started these England hunts back in 2005, the purpose was, I thought, if these catch on and people enjoy them, once I retire, that's what I'd like to do, and I'll just run more hunts. So I was thinking about doing more and more England hunts, and Gretchen and I went to Aruba 4 years ago to visit a friend of ours, Dutch Robert, who was living there at the time, and we fell in love with the island. It's it's a dry scrub
It's
desert
a scrubby
island.
rock of an island. But the waters are beautiful. They don't get hurricanes, and the beaches are beautiful as well.
Yeah, and the Beach Boys write songs about them. You know, hey.
Yeah. So it is a little pricey there, however.
Yeah, everything is more
American
expensive
beer
there.
is about $60 a case.
Jeez.
Yeah, their
Everything's
local,
pricey here.
their local beer is about $50 a case.
I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. No, we still drink a lot of beer. We just gotta pay more. That's all.
This is about $100 a day, isn't it?
So how many Aruba trips have you done already with people?
So we started about 4 years ago, just going and visiting a friend of ours. We went a couple of times, and then last year in 2021 in December, we went to Aruba for a week with a bunch of friends, and it was just we split the house between all of us, split the car twice between everybody, and we had fun and we found stuff, and then I decided that I wanted to try and do this. So we just got back 3 weeks ago from the first. We rented a 4-bedroom house for 4 weeks with a pool and had 2 cars, and we had people come every week. So we had, I think we had 2 couples and a single on the first week, and it just we just went out and hunted in the morning to get everybody up at 6. We'd hunt from 7 to 11 or 12.
Depending on the group.
Yeah, it depended. We come back, have lunch, then maybe go out for an afternoon hunt, play games at night, a little grilling, hang out at the pool, a bit of drinking.
And that's why definitely the afternoon proclivities had a direct effect on the time you got started in the morning.
No,
Oh,
actually,
no.
no. I got everybody up. I woke everybody up at 6 o'clock every morning, and if you weren't ready to get in the car at 7, you stayed home. And everybody was ready to go, so it never became an issue. Nobody drank that much.
And
So
Yeah.
Good Islands,
You
we
get
have to get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, well, we don't
So-
get to do that a lot. But.
Yeah.
So was Aruba's a big tourist island? So were there a lot of fines?
There was. I think I have some of the numbers. I think the first week we ended up with 8 gold and 2 platinum. The second week we had a platinum and 12 gold. The third week we had 8 gold, and then the last week we had a friend, Tim, his wife Denise's father had passed, so they had to cancel the trip last minute. So we only ended up having 2 hunters the last week, and I think we only got 3 gold. But we ended up doing the girls went kayaking, and we went to the mangroves, and we went to Baby Beach. So we did
Played
some
beach
of the tourists.
volleyball.
Yeah, played beach volleyball. And if anybody is interested in the trip, they can go to my website, chicagorun.com. I have an Aruba page, and then I have an upcoming hunt page, which shows all the dates that are available.
So the Aruba trip, I would just like to say, differs a little bit from England in that there's never been any interest, well, some curiosity from like spouses and significant others about going on the trip. But it is hardcore hunting morning till dinner.
Hunting.
Now, non-hunting spouses, you're going to Aruba?
Yeah.
Oh, heck no, I'm going to Aruba.
Yeah,
So
that was the thing that we did with these hunts was they're designed so that the guys that go to England all the time, or women, can bring their spouse on these Aruba trips, and they can either come to the beach with us in the morning, and we bring chairs and a cooler with drinks, and they can hang out on the beach and swim while we hunt, or they can stay back at the house and enjoy the pool and just relax.
we're also going to survey and see, like, because when we kayaked, that was so much fun. And we had, it was one of our spouses on the trip who suggested it. So the kayaking was great. So we're going to survey each week, and it'll be tailored for each individual group, the activities that we do.
Yeah, if some people want to go try windsurfing or
To the
or a
top
hike
of
to the
Mount
top.
Hooiberg.
Yeah. Mount what?
Hooiberg.
Hooiberg. Oh yeah, there's a mountain you can climb over there. It's not a mountain, but a large hill.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to do on the island.
Okay.
Do you see this question, Philip?
Yes, I do. This question is from Ray's. Does that say Ray's Find?
Yep, raise fines.
Ray's Finds. Do you do any scuba diving while you're treasure hunting?
So Aruba, I have the Nemo Blue 3, and I brought it with on this last trip, and I did find 3 or 4 gold rings out deeper than the regular hunters could go. The first week, one of the other guys brought his hookah, and he ended up getting a couple of gold out there deeper too. I think that we had some divers who came through before us, and areas where we normally get more stuff, we got a little less. And a friend of mine in Massachusetts said that a friend of his was previously there diving, and he said, "You should go to this beach because he found a lot of stuff there." And I went, and there was nothing left.
They found it all, huh?
They found a lot of it. I did get some nice stuff there.
He's a prolific.
Yeah, for the trip, I ended up with about 20 pieces of silver jewelry, 2 old Dutch silver coins, 1 large lug nut platinum wedding band at 20.6 grams,
Wow.
and 13 gold items for a total of between the platinum and gold, it was about 90 grams, so almost 3 ounces of gold and platinum for the trip.
Nice.
That's a lot.
So now, how long have you been using the Blue Nemo 3?
I've had it for about 2.5 years. I've used it in Aruba a couple of times. I haven't tried it in Chicago. Technically, the rules say you're not allowed to dive in the swim areas on the lakefront, but I'm probably going to give it a shot this year. Yeah, don't tell anybody. It's a good thing only the 3 of us are talking.
That's right. Well, you get a new mayor, and hey, they'll let you do it.
And I
Right
see
in
you've got another question up there, Jeff,
I do.
from Gary Diggs. What equipment is everybody using in the water?
We had a big assortment of machines there. I had the Deus 2 and the Equinox 800. We had somebody who had the Equinox 900. We had a couple of guys that brought like 9-year-old CTX 3030s, and one of them ended up flooding on the second day, so he ended up using my spare Equinox 800. The other 2 guys they were worried about drowning their machine, so they ended up going just shallow, just so they didn't submerge the whole unit, keeping the screen above the water. So they probably didn't find as much because they narrowed themselves down by not bringing more modern equipment or a backup machine. Yeah. So I think both of them were talking about getting either an Equinox 900 or a Manticore before they go back, because you want a machine that is going to be waterproof.
And make sure that your shaft still slides.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they need to get the Deus 2, because for my money, Deus 2 is kills on the beach underneath the water. I mean, it's the only problem I had was, the lower shaft kind of wobbled a little bit in the water.
Yeah.
And that's unusual for me because I'm a runt. But somebody like Phil, who's tall, would have a big problem with that.
Yeah.
So I called my friend Detect Ed and said, make me a carbon fiber lower shaft. And another friend of mine, Steve Detector Rods, made me a whole complete Deus 2 shaft out of carbon fiber.
Yeah. Well, they sell a plastic one now. They sell a plastic upper that you can use, I guess, for diving. Is my Deus there that I made? It's that one right there, I think.
Which?
No, on the floor. No, that's not it. I don't know where it went. Never mind. I don't see it.
I use the Anderson Deus 2 rod, and that one's carbon fiber, the whole thing.
Oh,
and I think Anderson makes a dive shaft too.
Okay, so I just took one of my old because I had Deus machines before, so I just cut the upper shaft down so it's only 6 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the lower shaft all the way in, the coil's only that far. With the upper shaft, because it's metal, you had to keep it a foot away from. So I ended up having the bar way out here, and my arm kept pushing the unit off the top. I ended up breaking the clip for it, so I had to buy a new clip. But now I should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get a Dan's lanyard for your Deus too.
Yeah, I've got one of those that goes right around there and locks in. So I got a lanyard
Yeah.
on it. It's not good.
He made them especially for the Deus too.
Yeah, yeah.
You see that question, Philip?
Yeah, yes, I do. From Surfside Dan, and that's a really good question. Do you guys run into many hunters who live there in
Uh,
Aruba?
There are a few. There's one guy who lives there and does a lot of returns. His name is Jorge.
He's a friend of ours.
He's a friend of ours, and actually, he's the chef who's currently not working. But we ended up hiring him to come in as a personal chef and make seafood risotto or seafood paella for us one night. So if everybody on that week wants to, for $50 a person, he buys all the stuff and he comes in and makes a huge meal with appetizers. It's really good.
So he detects and does a lot of returns.
He does a lot of returns, and he goes out and hunts all the time. But he's one guy, and you've got
locals aren't really allowed to.
Yeah, I don't think locals technically are supposed to hunt. They're not allowed to, according to Dutch Robert, the guy who used to live there.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
But you do get the chicken flappers at the resorts.
Yeah. So the first couple of weeks, I didn't see any hunters at all because we went January 6th through February 4th or something. January 7th through February 4th.
The last week.
The
guy. There's some jerk running the tour. He was not happy.
The third week, we started to see a few guys who, there was one guy who said he's been going there for 40 years. Back in the day, his best trip ever, he got like 106 rings. But he said that doesn't happen anymore. There's too many people that vacation there. You get guys that go there on vacation and they hunt the dry sand. A lot of them don't even go into the water because the water gets hit so hard. But we did well. I know we're all there. There are 28 beaches on the island that you can hunt. Some of them are local beaches and have a lot of garbage. But if you get tired of walking around and not digging targets, you go to the local beach and you get silver rings and tungsten carbides, and you're at least digging coins and targets. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But the hotels, I try and work it where the teams move down the hotels and then go to Baby Beach and they go to the mangroves, so that by the time the next team comes in, the hotels have had a chance to replenish some, because there's thousands of people out there swimming every day.
Yeah. Do you see that question, Phil?
Yeah, that's an interesting one too. And he's this is from Rick Tumbleson, and he's asking, any other history on the island that you can detect? Plantations, forts, pirate hangouts, etc.
Well, they used to mine gold on the island. There is an old abandoned, like a broken down building, ruins of a gold mine building. And they used to mine on the hill, but the one hill where they mined it, they call it Nugget Hill, is actually private property. And I think they actually still mine it, but you can't get on it.
And go for now.
Yeah, I get that.
Robert said, right?
Robert's the guy that used to live there said there was an area you could go, but it's like in the coral and you need a pickaxe, and so it's stuff that's washed down from the mountain maybe. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. As far as pirate, I haven't done any research to any of that. This was basically put together as a beach water hunting trip that you could bring your wife to or your spouse.
That's very interesting. So, Ron, what is the average cost for the plane fare to get over there?
It varied. I have a trip booked in June, so we're going June 10th to the 17th. And normally the airfare is about $600 or $700. The airfare for June is like $1,100 a piece. It's crazy. I don't know why. Maybe that's when the other side of the world goes to Aruba, the guys in Australia, where it's getting to be winter. I don't know. But the airfares in June were crazy. Most of the other time, they're $600 or $700 from Chicago.
Okay, and then the week trip cost.
So I charge $1,500 for a single, and you get your own bedroom. It includes breakfast stuff, lunch, unless we go out to eat. We'll go out to like one of the beach bars one day for lunch. But it includes breakfast, lunch. we'll cook a couple of meals at the house, and then the other nights we go out. So it's $1,500 for a single, add $150 if you bring your wife, just for extra food and drinks, and that's it. And it includes pick up at the airport, a 4-bedroom house with a pool, and basically everything else.
And transportation, unless you want to get your own car and wander
Yeah.
off and.
And now,
thing.
so I do 2 different types of trips. There's a 1-week trip that I'm doing in June, November, that are more geared towards hunters. So it's you can bring your wife, but you would have to rent a car because I only have enough money in the I don't make any money on these trips. They merely pay my expenses. I still pay for Gretchen to fly there because I don't really need to I don't necessarily want to make money on these trips.
He just doesn't want to be here in cold.
I don't want to be here in the winter, and people going with me on these hunts allows me to vacation affordably because on my retired income, I couldn't afford to go at all.
Now, Gretchen, do your arms get tired as you fly down to Aruba?
No, I actually,
They're killing me.
I actually pay for her airfare, so
That's mighty nice of you, Ron.
Oh, it's
and she pays the rest of the year. So
I paid yearly.
Well, it sounds like a fun time. I'm sure people are going to jump on that because
Yeah.
it's very affordable and
Yeah.
you take them to nice beaches, and it's always nice that when you're with somebody who knows the area, knows where to hunt. That's
and
cool.
we have a lot of great people that come on these hunts, and we play games at night. If we don't, because a couple nights we went back to the hotels and did a night hunt in the dry sand after they move all the chairs out, because then you have a little bit easier access.
Or go to the casino.
Or we do a couple of casino nights. There's casinos on the island, but we'll play left, right, center, or pass the pigs, or Monopoly Deal. Sometimes for a little cash, you make a few extra bucks. But we have a good time. Everybody has fun, and hopefully everybody finds stuff. I think we had a few people that didn't necessarily find gold, but they found silver, or one guy found a nice Seiko solar watch, $200 or $300 watch. But again, it's about how well you know your machine. The trip is really geared towards water hunters, people who know. You can come and learn, and I'll show you everything that I know. Well, almost everything I know.
Or dry sand. I mean,
You can have the dry sand too. But it's geared for water hunters.
The dry sand kills me because I feel like 90% of the gold is lost in the water.
I got gold
But-
on the trip before this.
Yeah, in the dry sand. She's done well on the dry.
Yeah.
And I got a few things in the dry sand last year. I don't think I hunted the dry sand much this year. I was mostly in the water whenever I could.
It gets a little hot. I mean, there's they have the trade winds that are always blowing, so it keeps it very comfortable, but it can get very hot on the beach. And in the afternoons, you're pretty much done hunting. You want to, if you're water hunting, great. Otherwise, it's time for swimming.
Yeah, the temperature is 80 to 85 every day of the year. So
And how
that's
about
why we get up early. We go hunt from 7 to 11 or 12, go back, have lunch, go to the pool, have a beer. And then if somebody wants to go out, if you get a diehard hunter that wants to stay out there all day and water hunt, I'll leave you and come back pick you up. I don't care. It's your hunt. You can do whatever you want. If you bring your wife, you need to make some time for her because I don't want her yelling at me that you're gone all day.
We're not here to
That's right.
babysit houses, so we have a plan that we're
agree.
gonna do, but
So, what is the average water temperature?
It's 79, 80 degrees.
really,
So that's not bad. It's a little cool, but not bad.
That's
That's
doable.
good temperature.
Yeah.
Of course, it's pretty much that all year round, isn't it?
It is. And I mean, it just depends. So you can go, there are a bunch of beaches that you can hunt as long as the waves aren't too bad. The hotels are almost always huntable unless you get storms and they bring in seaweed, then it gets kind of bad. But the last day the day before we left, I was at the hotels and we had seaweed come in that last week. So it made it really hard to hunt, waist chest deep at the hotels because you'd be pushing 12 pounds of seaweed on your coil. But I got a 1 carat diamond ring that last week in the seaweed. So it's
It happens, but it's rough. Jump in with that question, Philip.
This one's from Mark Fiorella, and he's asking, are you going to Digstock?
Am I? No, actually, I'm going to be in. We're leaving for England in 2 weeks or less. No, a week now. No, 2
A
weeks.
week and a half.
Yeah, a week and a half. So we leave on the 11th to go to Amsterdam. We're going to Holland for 5 days, and then we'll be in England hunting for 30 days. They have 3 10-day hunts back to back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. We're going to talk about that here in a minute.
I know. I'm an animal. I can't.
Wait. When will Ron's 2018 barn hunt video be posted?
Oh, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I see that. I see the question there. Hey, Tim, I actually have the video about 90% complete. It will be out by the end of the week.
Okay,
Okay.
we got that one. We
Yeah.
got another one. I just keep throwing them up there.
Okay.
I can actually see
choppy?
I can see the
Yeah,
questions now.
Yeah. How choppy's the surf condition?
If you get out into some of the more exposed beaches, all of
It depends on the day.
the beaches that we hunt are on the west side of the island. The east side of the island is all
It's
coral
unhuntable.
cliffs and huge waves because
Very rugged natural beauty.
that's where the trade winds come from. So we hunt everything on the west side. Some of the exposed beaches can be a little wavy, but you're never dealing with more than 1 or 2 foot swells. And usually, if those are bad, then we go to the hotels.
And Baby Beach, it's called Baby Beach because it's a protected little cove, and it's calm like always.
Yeah.
So at the very least, Baby Beach is doable, but it's like a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Furthest-
but you find a place to hunt. And, a lot of people, especially if they've got kids and stuff out there, and they see the water conditions, they're going to gravitate towards that beach as well, where it's calm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it beats not hunting.
Well, and they're in the process of building a new hotel down near Baby Beach, so Baby Beach will start to get a lot more depositors, as I like to call them.
That's
Right.
right. They are depositors. We are the looters.
Yes, retrievers.
Ron, so what size coil you running on your detectors?
So this trip, I bought 2 new Deus 2s this year, one for Gretchen and one for myself, and I was using the 12-inch and she was using the 9-inch. I just bought a new 9-inch coil so that I could use the 9-inch coil while diving because I think it's a little more manageable. It's a little easier to get in, especially between the coral and things like that. There's a couple of snorkel areas that I hunted in that I got a couple of nice rings in. But you're hunting in between pieces of coral that come up, trying to get into the little holes, and the smaller coil I think will be an advantage.
I think you'll like that 9-inch coil too on your next England hunt.
Yeah. Well, and I like I said, I'm bringing. I'll probably use the 11 on because most of the stuff that we're hunting in England, it's all large plowed field. So you don't. If you get into a home site, you can get into a smaller coil. The separation on these machines is so good that even if you get into iron, you can still squeak out by very small movements to get the good targets.
Yeah. Well, I'll be going to Digstock and I'll be trying out the 13-inch coil on the Deus.
So when is this Digstock event?
Yeah, I'm leaving next week.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So it's like you'll be over there. It's the 10th, 11th, and 12th
Okay.
of March. So
Yeah. See, that's prime England time. That's usually right when we're leaving. So.
yeah, and you'll be over there for a month, right?
Yeah. 30 days. Yeah.
And you've
Actually-
got 3. You said you had 3 10-day trips.
3 10-day hunts back to back. Yeah.
And how do you do the lodging with those?
So there's a place that we rent. We actually have one barn that we use in the spring. It's in the town of Rabness, and it's an old converted barn. It has 4 bedrooms, a huge kitchen, big dining room, living room with Sky TV and all that. And I rent a 9-seat van. Then in the fall, we're actually doing a place that is St. Osith, so it's actually on the coast. And then we actually stayed at a town on this last trip we were there, at the town of Frinton, which is a quaint little town on the north coast. And we ended up actually going down and doing some beach hunting. One day it was kind of rainy and A couple of the guys ended up finding gold rings down there.
So we're trying to get Clinton summer hunt off the ground. We didn't have enough interest this summer, but next summer,
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can include some of the permissions that we have in the spring and fall. But it is a very popular summer beach destination.
Yeah. And it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful place.
And it's
Yeah.
little colorful shanties up and down the beach. I mean, just gorgeous. And the house that we rented was just beautiful.
Yeah, Victorian.
And about walking distance from the high street. So plenty to do, lots of beach hunting, and I mean, it's just wonderful. So we're trying to get that off the ground, probably next summer.
Chicago Ron Tours.
New
There
logo.
you go.
I got the marketing department working on the logo.
So how about the airfare to England? What does that cost?
You know, it's been up and down. I think the cheapest I've ever gotten it was about 500. The most was about 1,200. I just bought my tickets 2 days ago for the fall hunt, and I think it was, I want to say it was 900 a piece, so
However-
a little under 1,000.
However, if you want to do connections, it can be less, but it's
Yeah.
too rough on us,
Yeah.
and we just like to fly.
I
I
down.
know.
don't want connections. That's the problem. That's the one major thing that keeps me from going back is, that 10-hour flight.
Yeah.
My poor honey can't handle it.
Yeah, we do. I only fly British Airways, and we only do nonstops. So if it costs an extra $200, I don't care. I don't want to do. Yeah, and that's the one caveat for Aruba is that you have to. There's only direct flights on Saturday, which is when I start and end the hunt. So you can get direct flights on United and American, I think, but only from certain places. Everybody else has to either go through Miami or Charlotte. So if you live in Florida, it's great. You go to Miami, you fly out, you're there in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I live in Florida, so I may have to take you up on one of those.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll blast Phil out of the shop.
Come on,
Sounds
Phil.
There you go.
It sounds like fun. So
And you can do a
Ron, now-
broadcast remotely too.
Ooh.
talking about your England trip, how many gold coins have you found?
I have 23.
23. That
I have
doesn't
23,
seem right, Jeff.
And they're all right there. Well, all except for the one that is in the museum, and one that I gave away for my niece's cancer benefit. They're all right here.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I know. I'm a greedy. Well, we won't say that word, but yeah, everybody says I'm incredibly greedy. They call me the gold hog in Colchester.
Oh, that's
Just take a word to the wise from Wall Street, from Michael Douglas. Greed is good.
Greed works. Greed works. Absolutely.
I'm still waiting to find mine.
You gotta be out there swinging, candy ass.
Hey.
So, Ron, do you guys go back to the same fields over and over again, or do you look for other places?
So we have a guy, Chris, who gets all of our land. He deals with the farmers. He deals with the museum. He does all the export paperwork, and we get new land. We have 2 new farms that are coming on this spring that we've never hunted before, and we have 2 farms that we've added in the last 2 years that half the fields we've been on for 1 day. So I mean,
Yeah, part of them never came
yeah,
online.
some of them never. Some of the fields, because the farmers don't necessarily let us hunt everything. We can always hunt stuff when it's in stubble. Winter wheat, they usually let us hunt. You can't hunt onions. You can't hunt potatoes. Peas are questionable. But a lot of the old time, the farmers that we've been hunting for a while know we don't really do any damage, so they let us hunt everything except potatoes and onions. The newer guys are a little timid. They don't.
If they've just seeded, they don't want us on there, and so you respect the farmers and what they want. So not every field is in play all the time. So it changes all the time.
We probably have about 12,000.
When I was there, we hunted onion fields, but they'd harvested the onions.
Yeah. After they harvest, And anything that's been harvested is fair game. You know, sometimes after they plant, yeah, sometimes after they plant, they'll put this vapor barrier, the barrier that keeps weeds from going through. And if you walk across the field, every footprint, weeds will come through because you lose the barrier.
Yeah.
Right.
We've had a few.
It's their living, so you have to respect them for that, you know?
It's their livelihood.
They teach them that in agricultural school.
So I've
They're
I've
lively.
been going to England for 18 years now, 19 years. And I've had at least 4 different farmers on different occasions come out yelling, "What are you doing out here? It's me livelihood." You must teach it in farming school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that when I was there, fortunately. And of course, Chris, we went to some of the same fields probably you do, because Chris is the one, that works with the guy I went with as well. So it's a hoot, and you never know what you're going to find for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was just on the forum today, and Washington Tom, one of the guys that leads the tour, he usually goes the first hunt every year, in the end of February. And today he found, so they had a Bronze Age gold armband. So it was a big piece of gold that went around, and it had little gold loops that had like 3 rings, and there would be a bunch of those. He found 2 of those armband rings, the little gold loops, 16 grams of ancient gold, Bronze Age, 1000 BC.
Jeez.
2 of them linked together.
That's awesome.
Museum got those.
It all depends. I mean, the museum has examples. They may not necessarily buy them.
Yeah.
If the museum buys them, he gets half of the value, and the landowner gets half the value. If they don't, then we pay the farmer half of the value, and we get to keep the item.
Mhm.
So all the gold coins that I have up there, I've given the farmer a portion of the value. So if a Celtic gold coin's worth 200 pounds, I give the farmer 100 pounds.
Okay.
But I get to keep the gold coin, because who would want to get 100 pounds and lose the coin?
Right.
So
Well, we did have another question come up. Now, this one doesn't have anything to do with England hunting, but Ricky T is asking, does he still hunt in Chicago and the lakes?
I do. I got a beautiful.
Only my delicate flower doesn't hunt them when they're cold.
It's too cold right now. I've turned into quite a candy ass since I retired.
Well, when the blood gets thinner, the skin gets thinner.
Yeah, if I'd have known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken much better care of myself.
I wouldn't have. I'd have probably, really hit it harder.
Yeah.
And I hit it pretty hard.
I actually did get a really nice ring this last summer. I got a 1 carat GIA certified ring. The stone's worth $6,000.
A princess cut
Nice.
diamond. This thing is
Beautiful
and
ring,
it
and it
fits
fits her. It's
Now,
funny how
what was
all the
the-
expensive ones fit her.
Oh, they always fit. They fit Jocelyn, all
I know.
the rings fit. So what was the water temperature there in the lake?
Oh, right now it's probably 35 degrees, 37 degrees.
Okay. When you're hunting it, what is it?
Well, I've been out there in February. I did a video in 2013, I think, Beach Cut Bonanza. We were out on Oak Street Beach.
snow and ice and
There were ice floating in the lake, and we were out there in waders and gloves, and gloves up to our shoulders. But we were just finding coins from the 50s and 60s and gold rings and medallions and all kinds of stuff.
when you used to be hardcore.
Back when I used to be hardcore.
That's right. Well, Lake Michigan is always cold.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if you're lucky in the summer, it gets up to 78, 70. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's in a real hot summer.
Yeah. Jocelyn grew up in Chicago, and she told me she would swim in the lake in the summer.
Yeah.
But
I wear shorts. After July, I'm in shorts when I hunt in the water. I don't wear a wetsuit at all.
After July.
After July, yeah. That's why I'm running. That's why I'm running the Aruba hunt too.
so
Gotta
now
have
you
the old style.
so now you go to Aruba to hit the warmer water.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the big thing is we wanted to move I want to get to warmer weather. So our big discussion was moving to Florida, moving to Aruba, moving someplace warmer. And this was an interim solution to run hunts in Aruba over the winter. And the first hunt that we did this last month went really well. And I think as an overall trip, it served the purpose. I wouldn't do 4 weeks in a row because I'm concerned about people in the later weeks having a harder time finding stuff. So that's why now I've split it up. So next year I'm doing 2 weeks in January, and then we have 2 weeks off, and then we'll do 2 weeks in February. So there'll be about a 3-week gap where we won't be there hunting. Don't know that anybody else won't be, but at least I know that there should be fresh stuff there for the next group instead of doing 4 weeks in a row. It costs a little more.
That'll be cool. Let's do some giving away, Phil.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're going to do a giveaway, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We are giving away one of the coveted Myers swag packs.
Yes, we are.
Food.
We're going to get a calendar and a Treasure Talk towel.
That's right. This is coveted.
I think you
Coveted.
got it upside down, Jeff.
Oh, well, what the hell?
There you go.
There you
Got
go.
Blackbeard on.
That's right.
Blackbeard's towel.
And you get a cap and a calendar and probably a carpenter's pouch. And
There'll be something in there, believe me.
always good stuff in there. So what you have to do, first of all, you had to be a member of Treasure Talk YouTube. You had to enter on the video that I posted about the Chicago Ron Show giveaway. And the phrase you had to use is Myers metal detectors where we sell nothing but fun and adventure. So you have to be tuned in to win. And you see my telephone number along the bottom of the screen. When I call the name of the winner, you'll have 3 minutes to text me with your name and you are here. Then, once I announce that you have won, then you got to send an email, and I'll put that address up. So let's get after it here. Remember, you got 3 minutes to text me at my phone number with your name, please, and that you are here. So, John Porchella, if you are here, you are the winner. So text me. You got 3 minutes, my friend.
Nice. I would say congratulations, but you got to call first to win, right?
That's right.
Yeah, text us. Then
Hey,
we know we go
And so we just had these new cozies made. So Chicago Ron's Barn Hunt, International Treasure Hunter, and then on the back, Chicago Ron logo. This beverage belongs to whoever is an international treasure hunter. And then there's a little bonus on the bottom. Have you heard? Chicago Ron sucks. for my England friends.
The England haters.
So we're gonna throw in a cozy for whoever wins. So you can send us their address and I'll put one in an envelope and send it out.
Okay, I'll certainly do that.
Yeah, that's awful nice of you for sure. Yeah, so I don't like the bottom part. That's kind of nasty.
Well, did you see Ron's haters, these guys in England, actually had T-shirts made up that says Chicago Ron sucks. And they all stood together flipping the bird with their pictures, with their T-shirts made. So
I had it as the back on my Facebook page for about 5 months over this. I just changed the back of my Facebook page recently. So
you know you're a success when your haters organize and get T-shirts.
my T-shirt, yeah.
Well, you know what a lot of it is.
Found all those
there.
gold coins.
That's you know what it is. It's strictly jealousy because they can't get the permissions, and they don't care that Chris is over there and he's working 24/7 to get these permissions, and they're not easy to come by. And most of these guys probably are ones that leave gaping holes and leave trash in the fields, so the farmers don't want them in the fields anyway. So yeah, Chicago Ron sucks, but he's got the permissions and they don't. So guess who sucks the worst?
Uh-huh.
Well, I used to get grief from them all the time, and they would either accuse me of planting coins. Oh, you're buying coins and planting them so that people will come back on your hunts. Or they just said that I was stealing their stuff. I was like, well, I can't do both. What am I doing? Am I stealing or am I planting?
And it's a small faction that are haters. There's a lot of guys over there that are really supportive and really nice. And
yeah, I've got a lot of friends in the UK that like when we fly into London, I saw Mackie the Mudlark the last time we were there. We went down and did a little mudlarking, and he was there. A few other people that I saw. It was nice.
Yeah.
Well, those people that do that, they don't matter. Yeah, they just don't even exist. They're a waste of human breath.
Like Beyonce says, hater gonna hate.
That's right. That's right. Well, it looks like John Porchella missed out. He did
Oh.
not text.
Hmm.
So we got another name. We got another name, Joe 4077. If you are watching, hit that text, buddy.
Joe.
Hi, Joe.
All right, so you just mentioned you were mudlarking. What did you find when you were doing that?
You know what? I mean, you get a lot of the common stuff: pins, some pipe stems, pipe bowls, buttons, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of. I mean,
Reach.
the shore is littered with. What are you looking for? Oh, that's from the Nat Geo show. Yeah, but that's a. Can you reach it? No. I
Were
don't-
you in the Thames River?
I've got a display up there of my stuff from the National Geographic show I did with the mudlarks, and it's got a pipe that one of the guys gave me with a stem like that long.
Fan stick.
Yeah,
The
fans.
shoe. I love the shoe.
Things that I found on the National Geographic show.
Yeah. And did you find any coins when you were doing that?
I got one Jetton from the 1500s, and then modern stuff. I find modern stuff all the time. I've never found a hammered silver coin on the foreshore. One of my friends, Florida Paul, did. And he put it in his wallet. He put it in his wallet because you need to turn everything into the Museum of London, or at least let them know that you found it, so they can say whether they're interested in it or not. They probably wouldn't have been. We went to lunch, and he pulled his wallet out to pay for lunch, and the coin fell out of his wallet. He didn't realize it. So we got back to the hotel, and the hammered silver coin that he found in the Thames in London is laying on a floor in a restaurant somewhere in London. That's about 8 years ago, but
Well, didn't you give the restaurant we were in? You asked him to open up because you gave it as a tip.
oh, I had a I had a silver sixpence, a Vicky sixpence, 1850 or something that I had realized I forgot to put in my pouch. It was in my pants or something, and we were in London, and I had it in my pocket, and I bought something and put the change in that pocket, and we went and got a sandwich, and I threw all my change in the jar for a tip, and there was an 1848 Vicky sixpence in there.
He didn't realize it until much later, and the store had just closed, and he's got his nose pressed on the glass. Oh, can I come in? So
They
Easy come, easy go.
I think it was.
Was it there?
Okay, we had our winner. He was here, Joe 4077. Now, Joe, you need to send your name, address, and phone number and t-shirt size
Shirt size for sure.
to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. I will get it to Phil. I will get it to Ron, and you will get your very coveted swag pack from Myers Metal Detectors and the Chicago Ron Sucks koozie from Chicago Ron.
That is too funny for sure.
Hey, that's great marketing.
It is.
Don't they say there's no such thing as bad publicity?
There's no such thing as bad publicity. That's true.
Well, I got to tell you something, Ron.
Yes.
And I don't know if you have are familiar with it or not, but and Phil, you probably have got one in the shop there. This is Excalibur shovels. I don't know. You don't do the barn hunts in England, and 90% of the time the shovels suck.
I just bought some.
Yeah, from Excalibur.
No. I just bought a whole set of shovels for over there, and half of them I'm cutting down to regular D handle, short ones, and half of them are long. They're a little heavier, but you can't break them.
Well, what I'm telling you is, Phil, get a Merlin. Casey at Excalibur Shovels, he just sent me a picture of mine. It's an exclusive Treasure Talk color. He calls it a Merlin because he's got two blades for it. And Phil will show you, and that thing is strong and it don't wobble. It'll fit right in your backpack to go over there.
This is the original Merlin, but he's got a wider blade too.
Bigger blade.
You can swap them out.
Yeah, if you're digging a Bronze Age axe at 1.5 feet, it might take you a while with that.
Yeah, well, he's got a wider one. This is the narrow shovel.
Yeah, that's more for yard work. You get a wider one, and the blade's about this long.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely do the job.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Do you guys have a link on your website?
I will send the information.
Okay.
That is the wider one
The
there.
wider one. Okay.
Yeah. So where that's the wider blade, but that's a single shovel on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
that's
make
not-
them where you can pull them apart and put them in your luggage. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're nice shovels.
And he also makes the hand diggers. The thing I like about the hand diggers, you're not going to break them either, and they're not that heavy. But he's got little nubs on the handle. You know,
Yeah.
you're digging a lot of mud over there, and like the old Lesh had the bicycle grip on it, and it
Yeah.
turns, and not with these.
Yeah.
I'll send Casey an email. I'll give him your email, and I'm going to have him forward you a bunch of information.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I just started. What did I? I just got. Oh, I have it here. The new Motley scoop. The powder coated ones in different colors. They're
Yeah,
somewhere
guess
out
what?
of.
We're going to handle them.
Yeah,
they're
we're gonna be carrying those in the shop here.
I
And
love it. I just used it for 4 weeks in Aruba in the coral. The powder coating came. The powder coating is off on the inside of it, but I mean the rest of it is still red. But I mean I was digging in hard coral for a month,
Mm-hmm.
and
with-
it's nice.
what-
It just has a pull pin that goes through. I bought an Anderson breakdown carbon fiber shaft for $95, and this you get through Motley. Great scoop.
yeah, we've got those in stock, the handles already, but we're gonna have the handles and the Motley scoops here, hopefully within a month or two. But
Yeah.
now you thought it was lighter and
Oh, yeah.
stronger?
And I like the small holes in the center because you get the earrings and stuff that fall through, and sometimes they still fall through for the little stud earrings, but
Yeah.
90% of the time the target's in the scoop. With the bigger scoops, without this smaller mesh in the middle, the stuff falls through. And,
Yeah,
and
well,
it's
the thing is, Ron, if you get the hole's too small, you're never going to sift any sand or any of that other junk out of it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
these are kind of the perfect middle of the road, and it's an open enough basket that because when I'm digging in the broken coral, there's big chunks of coral that you have to feather off and then look for the ring, and it's a great scoop. Worked well.
Was it good for transporting it to the airlines?
The carbon fiber handle for it breaks in half, and you can take the bottom out just with one.
With the pin?
Yeah, the pin goes right through and clips on. I never had a problem with the pin coming off or anything. It worked really well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he done a good job. He done a real good job.
And I just got the Anderson handles in here in the shop. I'm waiting for the Motley scoops to come in.
Yeah, I think I actually got the wrong diameter Anderson handle for it. So it was the handle was a little bit wobbly, but I'm probably just next time I go, I'll just put a couple of wraps of electrical tape on the top and bottom where it slides in, and it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Duct
that-
tape
that's
works
gonna be
very
perfect.
well.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like that hour has gone quick, hasn't it?
It has. It's gone. You believe that?
Yes.
Well, I
So
will
we
get.
have one exciting winner. Going to get the Chicago Run Sucks koozie.
Because it's a
That's right.
secret. Nobody knows.
That way he covered.
Highly
That's
coveted.
right.
The
Yes.
Mad Viking.
Oh, that is so funny. So I want to thank you for being on here and talking to us and telling us about your England trips and your hunts to Aruba. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
My pleasure. And if anybody wants any information, they can go to my website, chicagoron.com. Easy to get a hold of me. treasure@chicagoron.com is my email. That'll get me. And the prices, it's $1,500 for a single, add $150 if you bring your wife for Aruba.
And there's pictures of, we have a link to the house that we stay at. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, there's links and all the dates are on my website. All you got to do is pop around and find it. There's an Aruba hunt page. There's the upcoming hunt page.
And there's pictures of the past hunts you can see.
Yeah.
What
That's
was one
right.
that
You know, your new slogan has got to be, hey, if you want to suck, go to England with Chicago Run.
that is a t-shirt.
That's it.
And you're gonna get some royalties for that.
I hope so.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. And thank you,
Yes.
Jeff. And
Thank you
thank you,
so much.
Jocelyn, over there for helping me with the questions and the show tonight. But it looks like we're about to call to an end, aren't we? Jeff?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It has been a fun hour, and I will get all the information to you, Ron, from Excalibur, and I'll give Casey your number, and I'll have him get up with you. I think he's in the chat tonight, so Casey, be expecting some information. They send all your information to Chicago Ron, and he promised you he won't suck.
That's too
I can
funny.
see this is gonna.
Every time you tip it up, when you drink your Diet Coke, everyone will know.
Oh, it's upside down. You got to drink with the logo out. There you go.
Oh, we're drinking Pepsi this time. Well,
Yeah, it's Diet Pepsi.
yeah,
I need
anyway,
some caffeine from today for sure.
Ron, Gretchen, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you
It's
so
always
much.
an absolute hoot. We'll get you back soon after you're probably in the fall after you get done with
Okay.
your summertime Aruba and your England hunts. And you never know, I may be calling you saying, "Hey, Ron, I want to suck in England."
Hey, you want to suck in Aruba the week after Thanksgiving, Saturday after Thanksgiving to December 2nd, wide open, 3 spots.
I might suck in Aruba. You never can tell.
All right, I'll be quiet. You guys can close up. Take her home.
All right, guys. All right,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Bye,
you, guys.
guys.
Everybody, now get ready because next week we have Steve Moore from Garrett, and we are giving away a Jace Robertson Camo Garrett Apex metal detector.
Ooh.
So the entry will go up
Nice.
tomorrow.
So I gotta take and put that on Facebook so everybody knows, Jeff.
As soon as I get the video up, we'll put it on there, and it's something you'll definitely want. So join us next week with Steve Moore, who's a very accomplished author, historian, and an all-around great treasure hunter, and just a fantastic individual, like Chicago Ron.
Yes.
So we will see you guys later. Happy hunting, everybody, and dig deeper.
See you guys.